is for the way you look at me.
Okay, folks, today we're going to listen. And we're going to listen in lots of different ways. So in order to complete this lesson while you're listening to it successfully, you need a couple things. A pen or a pencil, piece of paper or multiple pieces of paper. Colored pencils would be good. Colored markers, crayons. That'll help you, trust me. So I'll give you a minute. Make sure you have those, and then we'll go on. We are wired to hear and recognize certain things just by the very nature of our being. So let's do a little experiment and see how well you listen. So I'm gonna play two examples right now of water. That's it. Listen to them. Tell me if you can hear the difference. Here they go. So go ahead on that piece of paper that you have, write down the difference between the two types of water. Right? They were both poured from a same vessel into the same other vessel. So based on listening to what you heard, what do you think is the difference? And yes, they're both water, but there is a difference. Write down what you think right now. Okay. Now I'm going to help you again. I'm going to play the water again with a little bit of visual and see if that helps. So here's water 1 and water 2 again. Did you get it? If you guessed that one of the versions of water was hot and then the other version was cold, you got it right. And yes, we're kind of wired to be able to recognize that. Why do you think that is? It goes back to nature and everything and how we recognize danger and safety. But our ears, if we really use them and train them, are very perceptive. So let's go into how we perceive the sounds, and we'll start working towards that. So, how perceptive are we in perceiving the environment that is around us? Sometimes we're good at it. Sometimes we actually have to take time to practice it. There comes that practice thing, huh? So let's do a little bit of practicing perceiving our environment. So I've created a sound story here for you on that piece of paper that you have. While you're listening to the sound story, write down what's happening. Here goes. We'll talk about what answers you got to that here shortly. But let's do a couple more. On this one, I want you to draw a quick picture of what you hear and what you're listening to. I'll play the sound a couple of times so I give you a chance to draw. On the sheet of paper that you have, draw the sound. Listen. For the record, the sound that you were listening to is this. So we're going to do one more exercise here in perceiving sound. When we do this one, I want you to write a poem. I would prefer haiku, which is 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. Again, use the piece of paper you've been using. Just keep on adding to it. And listen to the sound that's coming. Perceive in your ears and your mind what's happening. And go from there. All right, so write a small poem, 2-3 lines. Just thoughts. What comes to mind when you hear this? Here goes. All right, I believe that exercise outdoors is good for you. Therefore, I practice hiking. Okay, we're gonna stop this video now and we're gonna discuss some of those things that we just did. And then we'll play a quick little game together to get you guys to listen some more. And then we'll finish this video. Those of you guys that aren't in class and are just watching this, we'll take a brief intermission. Okay, we're back. Let's discuss how sound works with our memories. So, you've seen this before. I'm just going to play it for you. And this is my dog. Listen to the sound. Tell me what she looks like. Draw a picture real quick. What color is she? What's her name? This is my cat. Listen to that. What color is she? What is her name? How'd you do? listen and perceive the sounds around us make a big difference to our memories, our emotions, our primal instincts, our fears, our imagination. All that goes into how we listen. So we're going to do a little exercise here. And I want you to use your imagination. I'm going to play you, it's a 2-minute clip. And it's just nature. But you use your imagination. Draw a picture of what you hear. Draw colors. Write about what you're hearing. Create a story. Create a poem. There's lots of different options that you can do. But I really want you to just drift and just use your imagination as you're listening. Okay? And then we're going to take it another step after that. All right, folks. I wanted to give you an idea of what it looked like when I took that idea of listening to the birds. And of course, we found ways that you can listen to sounds and find memories, emotions. We can express ourselves through drawing and writing and poetry. And of course, you can do it through music as well as you're listening to sounds. So I'm going to show you how I imagine the sounds, what came up from me, and also give you a little lesson on how to listen to music and how things are broken down. So here are the birds. And what I did is I took the birds and I put them in a different environment. So you see the birds are highlighted here. This application is called Logic Pro X. It's like GarageBand, if you guys have that. It works pretty much the same, but it works a little better. Then there's lots of different other devices. If you're interested in recording and working with music, you can use. So the birds in a different environment sound like this. You hear that? That sounded different than the birds you were just listening to. The birds you were listening to were in a just the natural outdoors environment. I'm showing you the mixer now. The birds are over here, and this is a channel that shows you what the birds are doing. And if I click here, you can see that I put the birds in a metal stairwell. If you've ever been in a stairwell setting, right, like in a big building or whatnot, that's where they are. So This is what it sounds like again. And I was thinking, like, what would it be cool if we added some different sounds to it? So, this sound right here is a hairbrush. It's literally, if you look at my little screen right here, it's this brush right here. It's me doing this, just rubbing the brush. Listen. I thought it had a nice contrast with the birds. You can hear the two working together there. Does it mean anything literally? Maybe not. But it's just a texture, right? And sometimes you hear those textures and going on. So speaking of texture, I put in another texture here. So this is a cajon, which is a little box that you sit on. And the cajon sounds like this. I'm gonna move it over, it doesn't really matter. So it sounds like this. It's playing. You guys can hear that. So to me, that's like a little bit of a pulse, a heartbeat, if you will. And you put those three things together. So we have the birds with the hairbrush, adding a little wispiness, a little bit of a heartbeat. The three things together sound like this. Again, you can, everything's, it's a little subtle. So I thought I would, what we call is create a sound bed. And the sound bed is just something for everything to lie in. That's literally what it is. So over here I have this thing called King's Cross, which is a type of strings. It's a string thing. And so this is the bed that the birds lie in, the sound bed, if you were, not a literal bed. And I put this in. Yeah, I did birds with that. A hairbrush. Okay, so there's four things working together. The birds, the string bed, the hairbrush, which adding the wispiness, and the cajon adding a little bit of heartbeat underneath. Again, this is how my imagination was working. That wouldn't necessarily need to be yours. Everybody has their own imagination. Now, if I gave this to 1,000 people, the bird recording, we would have 1,000 completely different ways of how to approach this. So, because we are steel drum class, I thought I would take a steel drum and create a little melody for the steel drum to play to go along with the birds. And here's the steel drum melody. To me, that sounds pretty loud, less bass in it. I wanted it to exist in the same world where the birds were sitting. And I thought it would be nice, just like the birds have a dialogue with each other, I thought it would be nice if a bass instrument had a dialogue with the steel drum. So here's a bass. Down the bottom. See how they work together, try not to step on each other, kind of have a conversation together. Conversation develops as normal conversation. Hear that last part right there? Just like in a conversation, someone says something, oftentimes somebody else might repeat, "What did you say?" Like, "I said you were ugly. Did you say I was ugly?" Or, "Did you say I was pretty?" "Yeah, I said you were pretty." That's probably more like this. Here, the steel drum says, "I think you're pretty." And then the bass answers, "I think you're pretty too." The conversation continues. So there's this conversation going on between the steel drums and the bass while there's a bed of strings lying in there for the birds to live on. There's a wispiness of a hairbrush and a little bit of a heartbeat. And you put all of that together, and I'll play it from the beginning here. It sounds like this. I'm not gonna play any more for that of that for you right now. Um, but what I do want you to do is hear how my imagination worked to create this. And what we'll do next is I'm going to play this whole entire song. It's 2 minutes long, not the longest thing in the world. As you're listening to it, listen to how the instruments work together. There's 6 things going on here. See if you can listen to the 6 things. I defined them pretty well. The birds, the hairbrush, the strings, the heartbeat, the steel drum, the bass. See if you can hear how they're all working together in synergy, and what kind of emotion they create, what kind of memory, what kind of picture does it create for you. Write that down, draw it, involve yourself in the music. All right, turn off all other distractions and just listen to the music. Listening, when you really listen, is a cool thing. Mr. Woodruff and I will spend some time working with you guys and coming to some new and different realizations on this. So that will be the end of this video for now. So honestly, I hope that you've been able to get something just in the short time listening to the video, and then we'll learn some more beyond that.